My name is Isaac Tucker. I'm from Los Angeles, California, in the United States. I studied at University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, and I came here to get a master's degree in geography. Geography is an awesome discipline because it really draws from all sorts of schools. You pull in economic thought, you pull in political geography, you pull in cultural, transportation geography, and I've taken classes that really do their best to encompass that broad base. So I took a survey class, which was sort of your introduction to all things geography, all sorts of different types. And then I've also really sort of tried to specialize in the political and economic aspects of it. So I took a very cool class called the Global Economic Crisis, and that was neat. It's nice because we're here at the time that this is all going on. I've taken a class called Mega Regions, which is very much in line with what I studied in my undergraduate years and has dovetailed nicely with my research. And then in general, I've just tried to take classes that are interesting. And the program itself lends itself very well to picking and choosing what you think you'll enjoy. It's very flexible. They give you a lot of opportunities to take different classes in different schools even. And you sort of piece together a degree from all the different things you're interested in. Typically, my lectures will never, I shouldn't say typically, my lectures are never larger than 30 people. I had one that was that big. By and large, it's 10 to 12 people, maybe 15 at a time, which is nice because it takes it from being a lecture where the professor stands up in front and pontificates about something, and instead you get a situation where it's really just a conversation with an expert. A lot of my professors have been really knowledgeable. They stand up there and they talk, and you can tell right away that this person really knows what they're talking about. And having that small class means that you get to engage with that person. You get to, challenge them on things. You get to have them call you on it if they think you're wrong about something. And ultimately, it's been a neat experience. And that's really been true of all my classes. I don't think I've had any professors that didn't strike me as absolutely authorities in what they were teaching. I've enjoyed some of the geography courses with a bit of an economic slant, again, because it draws in current affairs, current events, and some theory and some viewpoints that are not necessarily mainstream. They give you sort of new perspectives on things that you've heard throughout undergraduate and maybe in other graduate classes. Those classes are generally the best ones where you get a lot of interaction between the professor and yourself, because that's sort of how they want you to learn. They simply present you with something and say, hey, take this apart, see what you think about this, and come up with your own perspective, your own viewpoint. I've certainly had group work. That's a component of every class, though really not a major component of any classes. It's very much designed to simply put you in contact with other people and get ideas flowing. I am supposed to produce a thesis as part of my degree. And one of the nice things is most of the professors give you the ability to pull in parts of your thesis during their class. So if you have an essay on, for example, on the political geography of Europe, you may be asked to find a way to associate that with your thesis, if it's possible. Or if you're looking at economic geography and you're doing a thesis in that area, you're again asked to bring your own unique perspective based on your research. So that's really been true of most of my classes, and that makes doing the assignments much easier. Rather than having this just be an essay that you have to turn in at some point, it's really something that is in service of a greater whole. Ultimately, you take all of these different things that you've produced and you piece them together. You add sort of the rest of the things you've come up with, and you have in front of you your thesis. It's a nice process. I'm in a one-year program, which is fantastic because it's the same qualification as a 2-year master's or even a 3-year master's in the States. So if you're not really sure whether you want to move forward perhaps with a PhD, spending 1 year doing research is a really nice way to test the waters and still get a degree out of it. You don't have to enroll in a PhD program and hope that everything works out or drop, and if it doesn't, you have to drop out. I think that this program is a really awesome way to get access to professors, guys that are at the forefront of their fields, who really know what they're talking about. And I think that that's something that you don't always get coming from an undergraduate background. I went to a very large school where access to professors was at a premium. Your grades were handed down by TAs as opposed to professors. So getting the ability to simply walk into someone's office and ask them a question it's still new. It's still pretty cool. And the nice thing about the degree that I'm working on is it has enough overlap with international relations degrees with a business background, because there's an economic aspect. It really is flexible. You can pitch it in a series of different ways. If I'm applying for a job working for the government, it's suddenly all sorts of international exposure. If I'm looking at a job in the private sector, hey, I've done work with economics. I've got an understanding of that and so on. So I don't have any concrete plans yet, but I'm optimistic about my options.